What's up guys, it's Trailblazer Moto here with another video for your tips and tricks for you beginner riders out there. My girlfriend came to me the other day and asked me, how the hell do you know when you should upshift and downshift? It's a pretty good question. I know when I started riding, downshifting was something that I know I spent more time trying to learn and trying to practice. So a perfect scenario here is we're coming to a red light. Instead of squeezing in the clutch and letting the bike slow down by itself, we know the gear is way too high, so we need to get into a lower gear before our bike stalls out on us. So what I did there is I squeezed in the clutch, I downshifted, gave the bike a little bit of gas, and slowly started to release the clutch lever. Let me go here. So a lot of people like to downshift for multiple reasons. One, we know, we might be coming to a stop sign or a yield sign. We're gonna only stop for a little moment, just check our blind spots, just check the road, and we're never gonna start proceeding and accelerating again. So instead of squeezing in the clutch, letting the bike slow down by itself and having to downshift all the way to first gear, what we do is, we know we're going to slow down. Alright, release the throttle a little bit and downshift. So to show you guys in slower motion, what I do is I squeeze, I downshift, give the gas, and let go. That wasn't so smooth just because I was showing you guys, doing a little bit of a demonstration there. But once you master it and keep practicing that, you'll definitely get a lot smoother with it. The bike you wouldn't even feel the jerkiness. So one thing to note is your RPMs. So I purposely brought out the Yamaha just so I could show you. When you guys are in too high of a gear, you'll see the bike starting to slow down and is getting around that 2,000-3,000 RPM range. The bike isn't going to really run under that 3,000-2,000 mark. You'll probably stall out. So that simply means you're just in a too high of a gear for the speed you're going. One thing that I try to keep a mental note of is see how the bike likes to operate. Like my Harley Davidson, 0 to 15 is really meant for first gear. That's what it's perfect for. Second gear is really good for 15 to like 30. And then so on and so forth. You'll feel the bike and what it's good for. This Yamaha, I think you can go comfortably like 20-25 miles per hour in first gear. And then second gear, you could even do a 20-25 in second gear too. When you're also going into curvy corners and you're gonna take them a little easy, you're not gonna go really fast on these corners, that's another good scenario where you want to downshift, just so you can make sure you have enough RPMs. And then if you need a release on the throttle to take a certain corner to set yourself up, you don't really have to worry about downshifting. You're in already a really good gear where you could rev it and also let go of the throttle and not have to go up or down any gears. You just worry about your throttle control, worry about your lean angles, and set yourself up to exit that turn. Talking about exiting turns, that's also another reason why you want to make sure you're in a proper gear. So if you're in a really high gear and you're taking turns, say the bike obviously is not stalling, you're taking the turn, but it's pretty low, it's around 3,000 to 4,000. Once you exit that turn and you give it gas, the bike isn't gonna accelerate as fast as you might like it to. And that's because it's trying to rev itself up into that power range. This Yamaha, usually it's around the 6,000-7,000 mark. Fuck on. And you want to make sure once you get out of that turn, you have enough RPMs. And you get out of that turn nicely, you got a nice little power band, you just give it throttle and it goes. See how the Yamaha kind of launches you forward, and that's because you're in the right range of RPMs. Now, upshifting. Not all bikes are going to have this feature, but most modern bikes, you know, pretty good manufacturers, not Harley Davidson, they don't have this feature, or Attack to give you the RPMs on your bike. But good bikes like this one, it's going to have a shifting indicator. So I'm seeing if I could do it in second gear for you guys. So you saw that light that just flickered on the right hand side? That light indicates when you should upshift. It's not going to red line, and it's definitely not at its highest RPMs. I think that the light turns on around 10 or 11,000 RPMs. But it's just simply telling you, hey, you know, I think you should shift now. This is a pretty good moment. You're reaching the full potential of the gear you're in. And it's time to go up a gear, so that way you don't bust your bike. Which, you know, you can mess up the engine, your transmission, one or the other, or both. So right here, I know I gotta slow down, but I was in a good gear where I see I have enough power. I'm around 5,000–6,000. I'm taking the turns, but I also have enough gas to accelerate once I am exiting the turn. So upshifting is pretty much the same exact procedure, but without having to blip or pull the throttle. Whoops. Like that. I was just trying to do that to show you guys. So all you gotta do is squeeze the clutch, upshift, and let go. And then you roll back on your throttle once you complete your upshift. So I'm gonna show you guys a downshifting demonstration here. I'm definitely going way too slow. I feel the bike bogging down. And even third gear was too high. So what I did is I squeezed the clutch, downshift, blip the throttle, smoothly let go of your clutch lever, and then go on your merry way. So right now I was in second gear, but I feel like it was a little bit too high. You could also do this by sound. If the bike is getting really loud, you're probably not in a high enough gear. So right now I'm in that 6,000–7,000 range. I'm taking nice turns here. Slow down a little bit, but I'm in third gear. I know I'm gonna have enough RPM so the bike doesn't stall. So upshifting demonstration again. Squeeze the clutch, upshift with your foot, and let go. And then go back and give it some gas. So right here what I did is I'm literally squeezing in the clutch. I'm letting the bike take itself. So me personally, I like to squeeze in the clutch and let the bike just slow itself down and come to a stop. If I know I'm not gonna quickly get back, you know, to giving it gas and, you know, speeding up, or if I know I'm in like dead still traffic and I know I'm not going anywhere, I do like the bike to slow down by itself, not having any power from the engine going to the bike, and I just use my brakes to slow down, or just gradually slow down as such without squeezing any of the brakes. Me personally, I think it's cheaper to spend money on brake pads than it is trying to fix your engine. If you don't downshift properly, and say you don't give it enough gas, or you give it too much gas, your bike could potentially harm itself. Another thing to keep in mind is when you're downshifting, You don't want to downshift when the bike is pretty much at the max and it's supposed to go up a gear. You don't want to downshift, because what you're going to do is you're going to give way too much power to the lower gear if you downshift, and you could potentially mess that gear up, because that's just too much power for the gear to handle, and you're pretty much all the way at the max. Right here is a pretty good time to downshift because I'm pretty low in the gear. I gave a little gas and now it's around that same level where it was before. When you want to upshift, you kind of have more preference into when you can upshift. Some people like to upshift sooner, like me, just so I don't overwork the bike. And if I know that I'm on the highway and I just want to get a little bit more miles per gallon, I do upshift typically. But some people like to upshift when the RPMs are higher, just because you never know when you're going to need to slow down and give it gas again and get up back on that throttle. And some people just like working their bike a little bit more. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong, guys, with having your RPMs too high. There's literally nothing wrong with having it around 9,000 or 10,000 RPMs. It's totally up to you when you're revving out the bike. But also remember what situation you're in. Are you taking curves up in a mountain? Maybe you want to rev the bike, keep the bike in that gear and let it rev itself out. Or are you on the highway, taking it easy and chilling, and maybe you want to just go up a gear and get better gas mileage. So guys, hope this was helpful. If you have any more questions or want to see any more tips, just let me know and drop your comments and questions in the description below. Later.